everybody, this is Mrs. Anderson, and we're working on Master Math Mentor Section 8, and this time we're going to work on the constant multiple rule. So if you've noticed, we are just getting a little bit more each time we do our derivatives. And some of them are really kind of, they make sense. They're just basic understanding stuff, right? So this one is saying when I take the derivative of c, and in this case, c is going to be, for some reason I keep having my paper out of screen. This is our constant. Then we can pull the constant in front of the derivative. Okay? So in this case, I would be rewriting this as 2x to the negative 2. Remember, I don't want to ever keep anything down at the bottom so I don't make a mistake. So when I do this, I'm now going to multiply. Okay, so I have negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. And then x, drop it down to the negative 3. So this is going to be negative 4 over x cubed. Now, if I had done this, I would have pulled it out to be y prime 2 times negative 2x to the negative 3. And notice then my 2 times my negative 2 multiplies back together to become that negative 4 on top. So this is really what the rule is saying, but most of the time we're just going to multiply into it. Okay? Positive on top. So we want to be careful. I'm going to rewrite this guy as 4 over 3 times x cubed. And the reason I'm doing that is to kind of show you what happens. So I have f prime of x, bring the 3 over here. Well, the 3 on the top and the bottom cancel out, so I'm left with 4. X, drop a power. S prime of t. Now my constant in front this time is a negative 1. So if I want to rewrite that, I could write negative 1 t to the 5th. So 5 times negative 1, and then t to the 4th. Again, remember we need to change this into our root power, 1/2. So y prime, 1/2 times 4, so 1/2 of 4 is 2. Drop it, full power. This is the square root now on the bottom. Just like that. Okay? Hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, so you may want to pause at this point, see how good you do on the rest, and then just kind of, or at least pause before each one and just see if you can get the answer before I work it. Okay? This is 5/3 x to the negative 3. So y prime becomes negative 5 x to the negative 4. Which becomes negative 5 over x to the 4th. Here we have the denominator cubed, so I'm actually going to rewrite this as negative 5 27x cubed. You do need to know your cubes very well, okay? And really this is going to be up on top, so I'll just come down here and rewrite this again. So negative 5 over 27 x to the negative 3. Now, you'll see that I can do a lot of stuff in my head. You may not have that option yet, and that's okay. As you go through this year, your algebra skills are going to become amazing. 2 negatives become a positive. The 3 goes into the bottom 9 times, so I have 5/9. And then x to the negative 4, or 5 over 9 x to the 4th. Now I have 40 over square root of t, so again 40, t to the negative 1/2. I know you're probably getting tired of rewriting, but I want you to remember we either do it right the first time or we have to keep fixing it, and that only leads to your frustration. Okay, so let's make sure we're taking that 1 second extra to write it correctly so we don't make any mistakes. S prime of t, negative 1/2 times 40 is negative 20. drop at a power, be careful. This is negative 3 over 2. Okay? So this is going to become negative 20, and then t to the 3/2. And we're not going to do a cube root symbol with a squared under inside. Keeping it as 3/2 is fine. Just make sure that you can read all the numbers carefully. If I'm not sure, I'm going to mark it wrong. Okay? Last one. 12, x to the negative, power is 5, root is 3. Y prime, 12 times negative 5/3, x to the negative 5/3 minus 3 over 3, because I'm dropping at 1. Now notice I did extra work on this problem, because maybe this is a lot for me and I'm tired. It's 12 o'clock and I need to go to bed, right? So I have y prime now. That goes in 4 times, so 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. X to the negative 8/3 is going to be negative 20 over x to the 8/3. Okay? And that is the constant multiple rule, just like that. All right, best of luck.